More powerful than a mere mortal, Brad Pitt embodied Achilles in the epic film Troy. For the role, he gained more than 40 pounds of muscle and practiced swordscraft for weeks. Interestingly, he hurt his Achilles tendon while on the set. The film had to be delayed. This bigger-than-life figure was born to a mother who was a school counselor and a father who ran a trucking company. Pitt lived most of his early life in Springfield, Missouri, which he described as Mark Twain country, Jesse James country. Even as a 6-year-old choir boy, Pitt got attention because his face was so expressive. In high school, Pitt was on the golf, swimming, and tennis teams. He was in a few musicals and did some acting at fraternity shows in college. 2 credits shy of graduating with a journalism degree from the University of Missouri, he moved to Los Angeles to pursue acting. There he took acting lessons and worked odd jobs. Pitt loved films. "They are a portal into different worlds for me," he said. Pitt supported himself by driving strippers and limos and moving refrigerators. After years of supporting roles, Pitt first gained recognition as a sexy cowboy hitchhiker in the road movie Thelma and Louise. Later, his first Golden Globe Award nomination for his role in The Legends of the Fall was set in the American West. In 2007, Pitt enacted the American outlaw Jesse James, the man who defined for Pitt the area where he had grown up. Sounds like Pitt could have been a past life cowboy in America's West. Learning an Irish brogue, Pitt as an IRA terrorist and later as an Irish gypsy boxer was barely understandable. His accent was so convincing. A language ability from an Irish lifetime. Pitt has played a spy twice, both as a CIA operative in the Cold War thriller Spy Game and an assassin in the action comedy Mr. and Mrs. Smith, where he fell in love with co-star Angelina Jolie. As for World War II movies, Pitt played an American resistance fighter battling Nazis in German-occupied France in Inglourious Bastards. In his latest World War II film Fury, Pitt plays a U.S. Army sergeant who commands a Sherman tank called Fury and its 5-man crew on a deadly mission behind enemy lines. Pitt, who is a pilot in this life, as is his partner Angelina Jolie, could have been a resistance fighter in France in World War II or an Allied pilot. The fact that both Pitt and Jolie have a home in France and that their twins were born there could indicate that they've lived there in a previous life. Perhaps that's why they were drawn to buy a house there and birth their twins there. Pitt, who has a fascination for architecture, did an informal apprenticeship with a renowned architect in his LA office. Pitt says he'd like to design something like a city or a museum. He narrated a PBS television series focused on sustainable architecture and design. He started a foundation to finance and construct 150 sustainable, affordable new houses in New Orleans following the devastation caused by Hurricane Katrina. He says, "I want to do something with my hands other than just play golf." It sounds like Pitt was an architect in another life, but doesn't have time to pursue this interest in depth now. A past life in America's West, an architect, an Irishman, a World War II resistance fighter in France. And then there's Achilles, or some major ancient Greek general. Interestingly, Angelina Jolie played the cold-blooded mother of Alexander the Great in another historic epic. Jolie, who had pet snakes growing up and a tattoo snaking up her arm, seems to understand and own the role of a mother of a powerful epic general and the dangers that entails. She could have been Pitt's mother or lover in such a lifetime. This is Dr. Barbara Lane, author of 16 Clues to Your Past Lives, reminding you to learn from the past, live in the present, and create a fulfilling future.